about ready to explode. Welcome to ESL 1. Let's get this started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
Grabbing up the epicenter, comes in. Oh, it's a big one as well. Look at this damage. The BKB, the Black are ready to go. GG.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steele in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
That is absolutely stunning! They are the champions!
You're not weak. Your mind is always racing. It never rests. So let the earth quake as you break through.
Previously on ESL 1 Birmingham.
What a dream way to begin the day.
And now, we continue. Get ready for the Birmingham Brawl.
It's time!
There is no place like home. Universe goes down. Look at the swing.
Pasha coming in with the combo. GG is called.
ESL 1 Birmingham 2019.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steele in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. Remember where you came from. The journey you traveled. The journey you loved. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
No matter what your passion is, soccer, rugby, racing, or esports, become a part of the experience with the moments we deliver.
Hello guys and welcome to the ESL 1 Mumbai 2019 India Qualifiers, where we are watching the last match of the day. A simple best of 3 to see who gets to go to the final and face Signify for the last chance at becoming the Indian team to represent their region and their local LAN created by ESL. We're here in the ESL channel, so remember to follow us on Twitch, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. And then we're getting now into the game. My name is the Swordfish. I will be your caster for today. Joining me will be Wingblade Dota. How are you doing, Wingblade?
I'm quite alright. We had a pretty quick best of 3, which ended in a 2-0. So I had some time to properly wake up, and now I'm ready for some Dota.
Good, good. No need for tea this time. Just a good old 12 p.m. Dota. The perfect time to be casting it. ROG time to start out with the Nature's Prophet and Oracle. Coming soon, the Sven and the Leshrac. Now the question is this Sven going to be the offlane, or are we going to see the classic Indian carry Sven that we've been seeing these days?
I still prefer offlane or support Sven. I think carry Sven has a tendency to get kite. Especially by Furions.
Sorry?
Especially by Furions.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I agree. The carry Sven gets killed by, or I guess stopped by him completely. I do very much like the Nature's Prophet pick as a whole for RG Titans. I think coming soon is going to have a bit of a difficult time at first with the Sven carry. So I would like to see a Sven offlane as well, going for those kind of core items, those utility. Leshrac as well for coming soon. It could also be the typical thing we said, support or mid. We've seen a lot of support Leshrac though in these qualifiers. It's a very powerful hero. You explained it in another game of why he was so fantastic.
Yep, just the versatility of having a really strong stun and then being able to take towers as a result.
Yep, that makes damage as well, and obviously something we didn't talk about last time is also the movement speed, right? Leshrac comes with a really easy movement speed. Early on, you can even go just for a windlace, and you evade most of the ganks that want to get to you. So,
true. Very fast disco pony.
Exactly, yeah. And then that becomes very frustrating halfway through the game when you see him with a pulse nova. It's like moths, right? Like you attract enemies to attack you, and you're too fast. So it's just like a psychological damage there.
And then just the dancing. Just a relentless dancing.
Oh god, that's the worst. Like, I thought Shadowfiend's taunt was bad, but this is much worse.
Speaking about swaggy heroes, we've been seeing a lot of Kunkka.
We have. More picked here, I would say, than the rest of the regions. Other regions stopped picking Kunkka mid as often. Like, it's still a pick, but it's not as common. Here it seems to be like still first pick, first ban material, or at least second round. I'm also...
I don't know what ROG Titans is gonna pick against him, because we've discussed the good picks against Kunkka before.
Yep.
There is Razor, Pugna does well, Odie does well, but he's obviously banned, Monkey King banned, so...
Huskar as well.
I'm sure ROG Titans kind of saw this coming too, this Kunkka pick. Because if you ban Odie, Monkey, you know what's coming.
Yep, that's very true. I will say though, it's odd that Coming Soon doesn't decide to use their last pick to counter pick a mid, and instead picks their mid much earlier. So, especially a mid like Kunkka. I mean, there's quite a lot of picks, like you mentioned, that could beat him in lane. And just banning OD Monkey. Doom for ROG. Okay, that's a new pick that we haven't seen in a while. Is that Nature's Prophet support then? Okay.
Other regions have played quite a bit of Doom, but this is one of the first times, if not the first time, we've seen it here. I'm not sure if I like it actually, because in general, Ghost Chip is an extremely potent counter for Doom. Because you can't really engage on a Doom target if he's both buffed. Because he just runs away with his 50% damage reduction. What can you do against it?
Actually, it's a very good point. Doom suffers a lot as well against the Kunkka's way of catching you, which is the X-Martha spot bringing you back. Doom is a very mobility-based hero, and doesn't have any blinks or PKBs, the kind of stuff that you would really like. So catching him and bringing him back is kind of annoying. But he does counter the Leshrac pretty hard early on, when it's actually kind of worth it, wasting a Doom on a support. And the Doom on a Kunkka, especially in the early game when he's dependent on boat damage, can be quite crucial. So you have those kind of points of inflection. The mid game kind of favors the early mid game favors ROG Titans because they're I would say their peaks are quite strong here as well.
I'm not sure because Coming Soon does have a lot of stuns, which is extremely good before BKBs come out, and that's another stun. So there is a lot of pushing and a lot of stuns on Coming Soon, which for qualifier teams tends to be a very smart way to play.
Wow, was that? Damn, that was timed. Well, the Jakiro here, I think is actually a really good pick, honestly. It combines really nicely with the Kunkka and even the Sven. Having those area stuns, especially with the positioning skill, is usually pretty good. Your Disco Pony can go full position 4. Jakiro is not really an item-dependent hero. And he kind of secures your lanes as well. Not the best hero against Doom because he lacks physical damage and he kind of has a lot more of the magical damage, but he can really go in the offlane easily, has a bit of deep push against Nature's Prophet, offers a nice amount of magical damage, and is generally a pretty tanky support.
Yeah.
So
I like him against Furion too, because he has the attack speed slow for the Treants.
And it's really good in the early game if you actually do have to lane against Furion, right? Just take away essentially his power in lane. Because he's only really a right clicker as the game progresses as well, which Jakiro takes advantage of. So I like. What can we see now for ROG?
I'm not sure, but I just want to emphasize one more time about Jakiro that he's able to deal with the Treants while also harassing the Furion, which is a thing that not a lot of heroes can do. Like you have heroes that are decent to deal with Treants, and you have heroes that can deal with Furion, but Jakiro can do both, which is just extremely strong.
That's true.
So for ROG, it's likely that they have both of their supports in Furion and Oracle, and they want to pick a mid that is good against Kunkka, I think. I'm saying that because there's not that many heroes left to really play against Kunkka, and they have 2 picks in a row.
Oh!
So we see the Shadow Fiend again.
Was it the same team, I think, that played the Shadow Fiend as well against the Kunkka last time? I think so. I think it was ROG versus LXG, because we were talking about how good that mid in ROG was.
Yeah, it could very well be.
That is this guy just thinks Shadow Fiend's a counter to Kunkka. Maybe that's the plan for ROG. They just think that people have forgotten about this pick. Very interesting.
Well, it's always a fun matchup to watch, so I'm happy to see it.
Very high skilled matchup for sure.
And this means that we're gonna see a pushing lineup against a pushing lineup. Because, well, I guess Coming Soon is not a fully committed pushing lineup, but they do have a Jakiro and a Leshrac. So both of these teams are capable of pushing early and pushing hard.
I like that they bring both teams actually do this, where they bring the pushing and the supports, which means you don't actually have to commit one of the cores into a weaker position. You can go for full snowball cores like Shadow Fiend or team fight cores like Kunkka or Sven, and you let the supports do the actual pushing and actually take objectives. So
I would love to see another jug on ROG Titans.
There's no
really
jug.
Good against
it's
Coming
banned.
Soon's magical damage team. It's banned?
Yeah,
it's first ban.
First ban, man. Yeah. You never look at the first ban because like it's Viper, it's probably Viper.
Yeah, it's like all the broken heroes, and I don't consider Jug that broken.
No, but he would be really good in this lineup, I agree. You don't have many options because Lifestealer's also taken away. Is there anything else that goes magic immune?
Not really, no.
No.
You just want to get an early BKB carrier then.
Yep.
Like Razor would still be decent.
Razor's pretty good.
You just lane it against the Sven.
Okay.
Anti-mage. I really dislike Fiend plus Anti-mage in the same team.
Yeah. Why?
Because there is 2 styles of playing Anti-mage. The first one is the pushing style with Greaves, where you just hit towers as a team, and it scales well with the Doom, it scales well with the Prophet. And the second style is kind of AFK farming, where you either buy a Yules or something like a Midas or a Shadowblade, and you just farm neutral creeps. And both of these styles don't really synergize with Anti-Mage. And there is a Terrorblade. So I feel like our struggle a lot with this Anti-Mage pick. Like, we've seen it a lot in this qualifier, these questionable last pick carries like the PA and now the anti-mage, and I feel like they had a really good draft going so far, but this anti-mage could spell trouble for them.
Yeah, I see your point. It's a bit difficult to actually combine these two in the same team. They do go okay with the Doom, but the amount of space they have to create if they don't actually manage to get a good laning stage is pretty difficult. And on top of that,
they also don't have stuns.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to mention. You pick two supports without stun. Well, I guess one has a root. Then you need to pick some, or ideally you would like to pick some sort of catch in your cores, right? But Shadow Fiend has none of it, neither has Anti-Mage.
You don't really need catch or stuns if you're gonna be sieging towers. Like, if they picked a lone druid, it would be totally fine because they could just hit towers and you don't need to stun towers. But now you have this anti-mage that you need to create space for, but you can't really kill heroes because they simply run away. And imagine if they just both. So I greatly favor Coming Soon's lineup here.
Yeah. And in the same lineup as well, we have Coming Soon, which has a lot of stuns, which you were mentioning in the beginning, right? So a lot of disengage abilities. You have, it's pretty easy, honestly, for you to evade ganks if you want to. And frankly, catching the anti-mage is not that difficult here. You can X-marks him because he won't be able to counterspell that unless he somehow sees you by magic. And then you pretty much have the whole combo of the Life Strike Chikiro, which can't be evaded by counterspell. So you're kind of, yeah, you're left to die there. And they can actually create space for Terabyte. So it's similar because in the end, the two lines are actually quite similar. In the what they try to create in the 4 protect 1, they kind of have to play, and Coming Soon is a much better lineup for that.
Yep, but yeah, and Coming Soon's carry hero also skills really well against ROGs. Like Terabyte can fight anti-mage when anti-mage is 1 or 2 items ahead. So even if he's 5 or 10k gold behind, he can fight anti-mage.
He's also a bit more useful in the early stages if he does need to fight early, which is something that if you're up against a pushing lineup, they might force. And we saw this anti-mage game earlier where they destroyed him, and they forced him to push with his team or fight with his team super early. Terabyte at least have some use here. Anti-mage is not. Until you get Battle Fury and Manta style, and then even then, it's pretty of a tall order. So I find this difficult to play for ROG. Like this lineup essentially relies on Shadow Fiend dominating the early game or the lane to some degree and being able to create a lot of space for the anti-mage.
Yeah, this Shadow Fiend, no matter what build he tries to go for, he needs a quick BKB. Because if he buys anything else, he gives up kills, the game is just over.
What build would you favor this game?
Well,
if you're the Shadow Fiend player.
It's hard to say really, but something like Midas into BKB wouldn't be bad. Midas because there is not that much space on the map and I expect his lane to go reasonably well, and BKB for obvious reasons. I mean, he could try to go for a Shadow Blade too, but it's risky and I don't see Greaves being very useful in this game.
No, definitely not with an anti-mage. It deters the whole purpose of the early Greaves.
He could try to get drums or maybe a Manta too, but I feel like BKB is just important. He could go for Yules as well, but then they have like no great frontliner that can actually hit before anti-mage is online. So that means they only have magic damage too.
And you also...
And in that case, if Sven gets a BKB, they just run down the base and it's over.
And you also expressed your distaste for the Yule Scepter in other games, where you're not a big fan of it if you could evade it. Anti-mage here won't steal any bounty runes, so you're gonna separate the bounty runes, fine. We also didn't really consider the Doom, which I guess if all burns and push comes to shove, the Doom could potentially go for more of a like carry or damaging build as opposed to a typical utility. We have seen this in some games, like in South America, you see carry Doom sometimes, and they kind of run sometimes with Radiant, sometimes with some early items. It's okay. It's definitely a last resort only for this team. And I'm just considering it because, well, the draft doesn't look to me too favorable to them. But the lanes could go pretty nicely, honestly.
Right. So I'm interested to see if the SF does well in mid again. You already got 2 creeps denied, which is not really what you want when you go for the race build. You kind of want to have level 2 on the second wave so you can start collecting souls. Especially the range creep deny is so important for the first wave. And both SF as well as Kunkka managed to deny that one.
This Kunkka knows what he's doing though. He's using... Actually, that was very bad harassment. Last time we saw the Kunkka versus SF matchup, it was completely favorable to the SF. Partially because a lot of sloppy plays in the early game for the Kunkka. And I feel like Moon is putting a lot more pressure into Dot here. It is a very interesting matchup. It's a very high-skilled matchup in the early game because the last hits actually matter a lot here. And you can't really recover per se because of the nature of this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. It's very snowbally by nature. Until Shadow Fiend hits level 7, at which point he just double raises.
Top lane.
Oracle actually going down on top lane, but Anti-Mage does get the return kill, which is quite nice. Because Anti-Mage is their win condition, so getting first blood on an Oracle is nice and you get some gold, but you need to realize that Anti-Mage is gonna be the most crucial hero for ROG. So giving him any kind of space is not what you want to have at all.
Honestly, in this lane, you'd be better off. Like you're happier if you can harass the anti-mage out of lane than if you actually kill the Oracle. And the Oracle is not concerning to you.
Yep.
And anti-mage is actually doing pretty well for himself. Like he's level 3, he got his full tango, 4 set of tangos, a magic stick as well to help him out a bit. And the bottom lane.
This is nice for the Shadow Fiend. He gets his bottle delivered, and he also gets a rune instant.
Yeah, that's what we saw last game with the Pugna, except the support took it right before, and that lost. That helped them lose the game by a lot. And as I was mentioning, bottom lane, we do see the Doom actually doing a pretty good job of winning this lane. Just Prophet helps a lot in this regard. Jakiro's an okay laner, but not good enough to actually push away a Doom right now. And Doom is particularly good with the Unholy Aura early on. It's like playing mechs in Dota 2 auto chess, essentially. Really difficult to bring him down.
Never played chess, so cannot judge.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're one of the still pure players. What can I say? Hasterune's available on the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, but they catch him with the Split Earth. Very, very well played here by Fly Solo. Good rotation, right in the shadows. They used this ward to actually initiate properly. And even though he had a Hasterune, he couldn't use it properly. Good job.
So Shadow Fiend is now half a level behind. And that's really scary because the moment that Kunkka hits level 6...
Yeah? Whoa. Oh.
And Kunkka is gonna be able to not only clear the waves fast, but also jungle. So you're gonna get outfound, which really sucks as a Shadow Fiend. We see some action on top. Oracle in trouble.
Oracle might die here. I mean, they're surrounding him. He does get the Fortunes in onto 2. Not bad, but the Diabolic will finish him off. ZXC can't quite finish the kill on Fly Solo. And this is the issue of anti-mage early. Ironically, you want enemies to have mana, because otherwise your damage just goes down the drain. He can't kill Fly Solo because he has no mana, and he has mangoes ready in case he does want to counter-initiate. That's how you play against anti-mage in lane. Well played. Now you're starting to harass him out of lane.
We actually saw Terrorblade get really low on bot. There is a lot of pressure coming from this Doom Prophet lane.
It's a pretty strong lane.
The level 2 Inferno Blade.
Yeah. The Prophet just needs to harass. He offers the Blightstone, and the fact that he has the TP plus his own teleport allows him to go often and just get back this mana, get all the items he needs. Even act as a courier for the Doom, actually, which we've seen. And top, we're seeing the rotation here. This time from Nature's Prophet. ZXC is going to run away as Run Rush comes in for the Sven. Sprout for Vision, but that means they lack that catch. Yeah, that was not the best rotation.
Always really sucks as a Prophet if you try to make a rotation and it doesn't work out. Because low level Prophet has really long cooldowns. He's going to get stunned into Split Earth and...
Diabolic is spread up on 3 though. That's a Fortune Zen with the Purifying Flames, and that gank turned into a good one, thanks to the Oracle especially. As in the bottom lane, we see Jakiro being chased after a Doom. Inferno Blade is ready. Oh, he's waiting. The creeps. Yeah, and yes, he'll get the denial. Good job, Jakiro. As in the middle lane, they catch a Shadow Fiend with a Ghost Ship action all over the map, but Nature's Prophet's here to help. He has a Sprout ready. He does put Moon in the Sprout. Get the triple raise off. Only 2 gone. He doesn't want to get close for the close race. It's way too dangerous.
He was so incredibly low after the Tidebringer. That could have gone south really quickly. But even now, we see he's a full level behind the Kunkka.
Yeah, the Kunkka. Well, I mean, this is expected though, right? When we first saw the Kunkka Shadowfiend matchup, we thought this was going to happen, which is a client domination.
This is how we expected it to go.
Yeah.
The Shadowfiend kind of has to outplay the Kunkka, and the gank from the Leshrac certainly didn't help Shadowfiend's call. Also, it really sucks when you're stacking a camp and you get Centaurs and Mud Golems as a Shadow.
Because you can't clear it easily.
Yep. It's nice that the Mud Golems give a lot of souls, because it's 6 souls per camp, but they're so slow to kill. It's same for the Hellbears. They're like your least favorite creep.
So what do you want a Shadowfiend? Ideally the 4 Satyr camp? Is that...
Yes, you want to get the Satyrs, the Trolls are all...
Oh wait, in the top lane, Anti-Mage in trouble. That Fate's Edict helped him though. Never mind, he's fine, Sorry. I got too excited for this Anti-Mage. And said they're gonna go for the Oracle. And they might kill him. Nah, it's a bit of a tall order. They are pushing a bit hard. No TPs to punish this. In the bottom lane, same thing.
Yeah. Jakiro, and it looks like he's gonna go down. Doom is almost level 6.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, Doom can have quite a huge impact. They had a pretty easy lane per se, you know. Terribly is not really that good against Doom. Top lane, Anti-Mage.
This is fine.
Oh. They do catch the Oracle. Yeah, as I was talking about, an Anti-Mage don't mind fighting the Sven. They don't have any mana for any stun. Split Earth is ready though. Can they catch the XZ? Okay, that counterspell wouldn't have returned the Split Earth, but it was a good try anyway. He has a Mana Void ready as well. They want to try this again. They just salved and mangoed on this Sven, so it's impossible. He has magic stick though, so the XZ could taunt to kill. They're waiting for it. They're going for the Oracle again. There's the dual breath, and this Oracle just can't catch a rest. That ball kitty has physical damage, so Fate's Edict doesn't really help that much, and he's just gonna die. But at the expense of a Leshrac, perhaps his Sven as well. In comes the Adrenaline Rush with the help. The trains, nice body block. ZXC is not concerned though with the Sven, and will just let Adrenaline Rush TP in uselessly, as now the rotation comes in from the Kunkka. Everyone's just coming in to party in this top lane, and the bottom lane trying to put some pressure. Hunter's trying to take the second tower, and top they still just want to catch Adrenaline Rush. Is Hunter making it out alive? Fly Solo has the stun. Will they try here? He's way too close to the creeps. Bit of a dangerous play. In the top lane, Moon still trying to go for Adrenaline Rush. There it is. Torrent First Vision. They'll catch him. They have the Stormhammer now. Adrenaline Rush is not going to survive this.
That was
that was pretty
questionable buyback from Leshrac.
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose was. How much was it though? 215.
I think he wanted to soak up the XP and the gold from the bottom lane, but he didn't realize that Terrorblade also had a TP ready. So they just both TP'd and were kind of sad that they didn't have free farm. Anyway, we saw a lot of pressure coming out from the Doom Prophet earlier, and as a result they took a really quick tier 1. However, getting a tier 1 is not always a good thing, but we
Zap.
see our Anti-Mage go for Jakiro.
Yeah, there's gonna be an easy kill. Torrent comes up though, could stop the Anti-Mage, and now Zap! Turn him back. Oh, he still gets killed off by the blinking Anti-Mage. However, Ghost Ship to the face, use the magic stick before he gets stunned. It's not sufficient. They catch him anyway. Adrenaline Rush now in trouble. They even steal his last hit, so your Moon. They just want to stop this TP. Can they do it in time? They're trying their best, but even with the Tidebringer, not enough.
Nice rotation by Kunkka.
Yeah.
But as I was mentioning, if you only kill the tier 1, that creates kind of a safe place to farm as soon as the lane starts pushing in. Because if you farm next to a tier 2, you're kind of ungankable. Because if they rotate people to gank you, your team can not only TP to the tier 2, but also to the shrine. So it's one of the safest places to farm. And Terrorblade can safely farm the jungle, and now as soon as the lane starts pushing in, he can also safely farm the lane. So ideally you wanna take the tier 2 as well. Like we see it too for the Anti-Mage. Like this is such a safe place to farm because they only took the tier 1.
Let's see, Anti-Mage Nature's Prophet TPing in. This could be a suicidal play. Nature's Prophet has Wrath of Nature though. ZXC is unconcerned, sees a Leshrac, decides to help his teammate out. No, he's blinking out. Adrenaline Rush like, guys, please, why am I alone? Wrath of Nature ready, still not using it. He's probably just trying to waste their time right now. Used Wrath of Nature last second, doesn't do much with it. And unfortunately, Oracle also dies in the mid lane. They're starting to really gank and take advantage of their superior stunning power, which is allowing them to get a lot of easy kills.
Kunkka killed the Oracle too.
And
just a while ago we saw the Doom use his Doom on Terrorblade and take him down.
I'm gonna take this tower as well in the mid lane with the Diabolic, or the top lane with the Diabolic Edict. And here's the beauty of this lineup, right? You can actually create space, but also make it into objectives. Something that I guess ROG is lacking to some degree. Only just Prophet, not as strong as Leshrac. And also Adrenaline Rush is dying a lot. Moon could be in Doom though. Hunter, oh, he doesn't have a Doom available, but Shadowfiend has a double damage, so he's more than ready to kill his Kunkka. Went in a terrible position and got punished for it. I think he was trying to maximize Die Bigger Cleave, but that was just not wise. They don't have any vision here, so you really should never do that.
So we do see the Shadowfiend go for the Greaves.
Oh, Adrenaline Rush could die here. Split Earth, Split Earth. Ready? Never mind, Jakiro's here. Again, not the best positioning for these teams. They really could have made these kills, and now the two supports are alone. Will they hunt them down? Shadowfiend certainly seems decided to do so. All they need to do is kill Fly Solo. There it is. Root. Double raise. Yep. And goodbye, Fly Solo. Jakiro's desperately trying to kill the tower. He manages to do it. No deny from the enemy team. ROG kind of frustrated with his play, but still attempting to punish Zap for what he did. He doesn't have TP, nor mana. He's just gonna die. I mean, he's just wasting their time at this point.
Yep. That's like... he's flying around all proud that he got the tower. He doesn't care about his fate. Punish me however you wish, I've already won.
Exactly. And I mean, that was actually pretty okay by Jakiro. I don't think... I wasn't expecting them to actually be able to push the tower, so super impressive push by the supports, which are creating much more impact than ROG supports right now, unfortunately.
This opens up the jungle for coming soon.
Yep.
The jungle. Because there is only a tier 1 on mid, so that entire area is now unsafe for ROG Titans to farm, which creates a very difficult situation for the anti-mage. He's gonna have to farm in the Radiant jungle mostly, and like the Dire Triangle, which is the medium camp, the hard camp, and the Ancients.
Yeah. This offensive kind of warding as well helps when they take tier 2s and immediately start putting these kind of wards that also check for rotations. The Shrine's still a concern, but if you actually just put a ward around there, you can see there's a sentry already by ROG to protect this. It's clear they know what they're doing. Whereas the bottom lane still hasn't fallen for coming soon. They get the Shadowfiend in the mid lane, farming in a bit of an unsafe position because there's no longer that vision around you to see this rotation for the top lane. You have this ward, but they didn't go by it.
And they instantly move into Roche with the meta.
Yep. Pretty clever. Good use of the meta.
It's hard to contest, but it's impossible to contest without the Shadowfiend, because he is the strongest hero, ROG Titan.
Okay, there's X marks the spot here. We'll catch the Doom. They might actually get a Roshan and a free Doom in the process. No, Doom has the Doom here, which is a bit annoying. Hunter gonna go into the stun. He actually just walks in like nothing happened, but the A just goes to the Terrorblade, and he just used his Doom on the Kunkka. Unfortunately, the armor's been activated. They have to deny him somehow. They're trying their best. Purifying Flames won't really work there. ZXC goes into the Wolf's Mouth. He starts chomping. They get a Split Earth off. Terrorblade from the low ground. They kill the Anti-Mage in time, killing his brethren as the Sven fights off against the enemy. Nature's Prophet alone. He has a magic stick still. Quelling Blade ready. He's not going to get stuck in those trees. He's not going to die to Adrenaline Rush. And the age is preserved. They do lose the Kunkka in the process, but honestly, you get 3 kills. It's definitely worth it, especially the one in the Anti-Mage. Even maybe a 4th one if they can cancel Adrenaline Rush TP. No, they can't. Not enough mana.
Very questionable decision to run in on Doom, even when you have Oracle ulti. It's just such a low chance that you can steal the Aegis, and they did kill the Kunkka, but there is no way this is worth it, even if they only lost Oracle and Doom, because they also committed the Doom and they committed the False Promise, which means that Terrorblade doesn't have to be scared for... Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that last part? Terrorblade doesn't have to be scared for?
So he doesn't have to be scared anyway because he has Aegis.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And he's also considerably... Oops.
I'm not with...
Wait
I'll just rejoin real quick.
Yeah, thank you, please. Hello, Wingblade. Welcome back. Sorry about the Discord problems.
Thank you.
You were saying...
Yeah, it sucks.
Terrorblade is also leading in the Worth, I think you were saying, right? Which obviously adds.
Exactly. And he's only gonna accelerate, and meanwhile Anti-Mage is still 1200 gold away from his Battle Fury.
But they're getting a kill on the top lane at the very least. It's only a Jakiro though. And this is also starting to become a problem, which is coming soon is sacrificing the supports, but in this process they're getting a lot of space for the Terrorblade. Whereas the Anti-Mage is not quite getting the same treatment. Just because your supporters are not effective. Jakiro has so much more impact in the lane than, say, Oracle.
The gold lead isn't that big because Prophet is doing a fairly good job.
What is Faisal doing?
And they do have a lot of towers.
Is he gonna kill the Oracle alone? They're not even bothering to help him. Oh, what? Faisal just murdered him in front of the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage clearly only concerned about his Battle Fury, which is the right choice, but Southern's now ready. They can kill 2. Adrenaline Rush is in trouble. There's no way he's surviving this. Goodbye. 2 dead, almost
like
for free.
Anti-Mage was afraid that the team was close.
Yeah, he couldn't blink offensively, right?
Just such a cookie play, and he gets away with it. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean it's a double kill for support for 2 support for nothing. It's pretty nice. And yeah, you're right. I mean, he could have blinked offensively to get to him, but that was the only option really. And then if you blink offensively, you're always in a very dangerous position as Anti-Mage, especially before you Battle Fury.
Could be in trouble. There is a false promise though.
Good false promise, but I think the boat still hit him with the damage. Not entirely certain. We'll see now. He's been cured for now. They kill the Oracle first. Easier kill. Shadow Fiend's fully fine. Not a problem. RR. Here fighting a Nature's Prophet. But he finds that Divine is much harder to kill. He still has the Sunder, by the way. So Shadow Fiend has to be a bit careful. And Divine sees him. Sunder used. There it is. Oh, the Shadow Fiend was just not expecting that. He still has the Aegis ready anyway. So he could have this tower if he wants to. But RR, his teammate, in a bit of trouble. He still has the Stormhammer. Uses it. At the same time, he dies. Moon trying to get the kill onto Hunter. A bit difficult for him as to start armlet toggling. Here comes the help of Dot. And Dot manages to help kill Moon with this Terrorblade, unable to really get the final kill. Instead, he tries to TP. He'll accomplish this. No, the Infernal Blade will cancel it. Not Divine. A run back home. Still has meta, has to fight Hunter to the death. And it seems like he's going to beat Hunter for now. One more hit. No, and this is meta. As the last thing was going to come by. And the Ancients actually take away his Aegis. This Terrorblade, the position which is not ideal for him. Manta style to get some space, but I don't think he's going to accomplish it. Reflection as well. They finally sprout him. In comes the Lash. He's the cleanup crew. He kills 1, but he can't kill 2. He tries to take Shadow Fiend with him as well. Fly Solo manages to do so and almost kills ZXC in the process as well. Very well played. In comes Zap with 1 last Macropire, but it won't do anything. Won't catch anyone. ROG actually managed to survive this lineup, or this matchup with the Anti-Mage.
They just left the Terrorblade there. They slowly all died, and then he was there alone against 4 heroes. And then Aegis is not gonna save you at this point. I feel like Coming Soon needs to be more disciplined with the way they push. Like, losing heroes like this is the only way ROG has a chance of winning. Because now Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury, he's 1000 on his way to a Manta, and 6-slotted Anti-Mage is going to win the game if he's uncontested. Exactly.
I mean, we saw earlier before this team fight there was a 1000 net worth difference between Terrorblade and Anti-Mage, more or less. Now it's only 400. Like, it's quite the gap closing. And Adrenaline Rush. Is he gonna be killed off? He has the TP plus Sprout. Ice Path cancels the TP. Quelling Blade to get into the Sprout. Hello, Adrenaline Rush peeking in, killing him off. And Zai, confident he can kill Hunter as well, has a Yulsa to set this up. But in comes the Oracle. They were afraid of this Macropyre as well. They have the Stormhammer, but they don't use it in the middle of the Macropyre. Maybe not wanting to fight this till the end. Okay, Sven actually hits pretty hard. Stormhammer to the Oracle. Ice Path to keep him in place. And Fate 6 stop him from killing the Oracle. But Hunter might not have the same luck in the backline. So here comes the Kunkka with the Tidebringer plus the double damage. Enough to kill Hunter. That last bout of Liquid Fire is just not sufficient because he heals too much, but the Torrent catches him. Very well played there by Moon. And Hunter now in trouble as he brought back with Xbox a spot. They gets Tidebringer to death, and even the Oracle pays respects to Coming Soon's Reaper.
If you want to be a good Prophet, I feel like what you need to do is use that one someone uses Quelling Blade on your Sprout. Like, when Sven went on him, he stunned the and then Sven cut one of the trees with the Quelling Blade. But if Adrenaline Rush was really next level, he would have instantly placed down his branch. He would have been fine. That's
actually a pretty good point. I didn't actually notice he had an Iron Branch up. Torrented into Ghost Ship. They also catch the Oracle. 2 support might die here. They can kill the Oracle. That's ideal. 835 doesn't have a way to get out of this alive, which means 35 seconds without him, Terrorblade can start pushing. And we've seen how powerful Terrorblade can push because, you know, it's not just the Lash track that you have in this team with the Jakiro. The Terrorblade is their real pushing power. They could threaten tier 4s if they want to, but it's definitely not a good idea. It's a bit too risky. Better to go for the racks and play it safe. As in the bottom lane, Zap is also fighting his own fight against ZXC. This could be dangerous because the Sprout comes in, takes Zap. There's no reinforcement along the way. He can't even use the Macropyre because they take away his mana. Goodbye, Zap.
Anti-Mage is keeping up, but if you look at the Shadow Fiend and the Doom, they are falling behind a little bit. The gold lead is not insurmountable for sure, but it's looking tough, especially with the racks down. You want your anti-mates to already start getting ahead of the Terrorblade, because as I said, if they're equal, anti-mage cannot fight.
No. And the pushing power for the Terrorblade is better than the anti-mage if you give him the chance. So as long as you win him a team fight, you can see the destruction he can create.
Yep. Every 155 seconds a push is gonna come. And the thing about coming soon too is that they can push without really committing too hard. They don't even have to have a hero hitting it. They can just have a liquid fire and...
Wow, what a Sunder saving this Sven here. They couldn't catch him. Now the Sprout, he can't use his Qual and Blink as the Doom. No, just let me use my axe, he says. There's no more help for him. They just need to survive RR, everything to save him, and they wasn't enough. They don't have any extra healing. Moon comes in, avenges his team. Adrenaline Rush will play for mistakes, as they also go for a Hunter here, but they can't cancel that TP. Zap instead concentrating on the Oracle, has the Ice Path, can definitely target. Has the Ice Path, doesn't necessarily hit it though. Well, A35 even dispels that dual breath, but the X marks the spot, will eventually catch him. So much effort to catch this Oracle. Ice Path this time will hit, and the Kunkka will finish him off.
So now there is also no Doom, so coming soon is gonna wait for Sven to respawn, get the Arcane Rune on Terrorblade maybe, and just start hitting Talus. I mean, technically nothing is stopping them if... Okay, they put it on Kunkka. That's quite strange to me. I feel like this meta timing is what you want to play around, and if there is an Arcane Rune on the map, that just means that the next cycle is gonna start earlier. But I guess they really favor the long distance damage of the Kunkka.
Yeah, could have been that they valued the fact that he... Oh, never mind, he could immediately use that. I was going to say the bottle might have been one of those factors that you think, maybe you can store it for later.
They could kill the anti-major. If they get the X, it's potentially very scary.
Good counterspell.
ZX sees this coming and just blinks out. Well played.
Yeah, it's a good choice, but still no... You don't still have the option to actually propose something, unfortunately. So you can escape with the anti-mage, that's fine, but you still can't really teamfight with him. And that way they can just put pressure, kill your Oracle, which again was just in a bad position, but you can't really stop his tier 2 push, which is the problem here with an anti-mage draft. However, Adrenaline Rush, he says, no, what are you talking about, these Swordfish? I can stop this push all on my own. And actually creep skips pretty cleverly. The creeps are still here, they can take the tier 2, but they won't be able to go into the high ground, at least not easily.
I think they can. They
terribly?
just
2 creeps, man?
this. They have such tanky heroes. What's stopping them right now?
I guess I was hoping they would kill the creeps or something, because they're so far away with the creep skipping.
They don't really have good deep push though. They have one race that you can use without instantly dying.
That's true. There's only one creep in the space and they have to protect us. You can see X marks the spot for Doom who's trying to go in. Don't let him devour that creep. Oh, creep. Don't do this. He sacrificed himself for nothing. But they took the melee racks, which was what mattered. And in fact, in the backlines, actually found the anti-mage. Okay, bring him back into the ghost ship. The Monster cannot evade it. Ice Path as well with the Macro Power, a lot of damage. And ZXC so close to dying. Yo Scepter to prevent this. The Macro Power now for 2 extra seconds. He's gonna be gone. Divine actually finishes him off. X marks the spot for the Doom as well. He has the pipe, doesn't really matter. Just want the stun from the Torrent. Now the Ice Path as well. No false promise can save this Doom. He's going directly to hell where he belongs. And he even doomed an illusion there from the Terrorblades Manta style. Terrible play there from ROG. Not terrible because they played it terribly. It's just super desperate. They have nothing else to do. And coming soon, absolutely decimating them once again. They're just looking for one last set of racks, and they're really not far out from getting it. No meta, though, but they can still stay in base and just kind of harass and put a bit of pressure until the meta comes up.
I am at a loss what ROG can do right now. They lack any kind of disables to go for pickoffs. Split pushing is very, very risky up against the Blink Sven as well as an X marks the spot, especially from Shadowblade, and team fighting has been a complete disaster so far. So I guess the one thing they can hope for is to try and get this Shadow Fiend a BKB and try to take a desperation fight without meta, but the window is closing on them.
Another kill into Adrenaline Rush here. And even 835 dies. I couldn't even catch him. I think he just died to the Lesh alone. Lesh has been playing. Reminds me of Mr. Crownley here. Play solo has been a very enjoyable Leshrac to watch.
For sure. And now Roche is up. That's gonna be an Aegis and Cheese together with the next meta.
The window is closing.
This game is going to be over 5 minutes from now.
I agree with you. I mean, you're mentioning the stuns thing. I think the stuns thing is actually quite important because when you're playing from behind, usually your strategy resorts into two kinds, which is either split pushing, which used to be kind of viable, now it's very difficult to actually accomplish, or getting pickoffs. I mean, pickoffs probably the most consistent playing from behind strategy. Without stuns, how do you do that? You just can't. You have to hope that the Doom, I guess, for a pickoff, you can only get one pickoff with that. You can't even kill the supports.
Also, they don't have burst damage, so even if they do Doom someone, they can't really chase him down that well. So, support is gonna arrive in time most likely. Shadowfiend does have his BKB.
Yeah, it's a very difficult position to find yourself in, because I guess the burst damage here would come from, if it was a different Shadowfiend build, perhaps we could have seen a bit more burst damage. I think the guard increase. I don't think this is. I mean, your Shadow Blade could have been the risk reward thing that you were talking about. I don't think it would have been successful though, to be honest. It's just not a good Shadowfiend game or anti-mage really. You just needed two different cores, right?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, the Shadowfiend is fine, but they needed to commit to some kind of pushing then. Because their lanes were not too bad.
No. Well, but the issue was that the lane that you wanted to be good, right, was the anti-mage, and his lane wasn't that good.
True, but that's, like, if they picked a different carry, they could have done better.
That's exactly the point, I think. Like, hell, in this game, even a PA, I would have been okay with that, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the carry.
I feel like PA is even weaker in lane than anti-mage.
Oh yeah, no, it's not because of the win in the lanes, because your strategy can depend more on the Shadowfiend as opposed to having to play this 4 Protect 1 no matter what.
Man, I feel like you need another tower hitter.
Like, oh.
I really like the long road, but we see a fight coming out here.
Yep, Wrecking My Soul's coming out and does nothing. Unfortunately, only a bit of damage removal here, but Hunter, he's actually fighting Divine. Will force this Aegis. He didn't use Sunder just yet, but that's meta gone. I'm surprising actually. Could have used Sunder there and kept meta. And for a Crystalist for the extra damage. I guess I'm not too concerned either. They also Wrecking My Souls and Doom in that fight, and all they got was really a Terabyte Aegis. They find 835, no False Promise anyway, so he's dead. Hunter goes in, double stun, that's not bad, but instead in the backlines they're finding a beautiful double Ice Path, and that's exactly what they need to close this game. They got ZXC first, forcing the Shadowfiend up in the air with the Yule Scepter, and now hoping to crit him. Oh, nice sprout, saving Shadowfiend's life, but you already lost your melee racks and you probably will lose your throne. ZXC dies a second time, die back immediately. The GG is just about to come out, it's out of ZXC's mouth. And ROG give up the first game to a much more dominant Coming Soon.
Fields were stacked against them, and Coming Soon just executed properly. They had a few hiccups, but overall their game plan was solid, and so was their execution.
Well, with that, I think this is the end of game number 1. Like you mentioned, just much better draft. I mean, we mentioned this like a million times, so I think can't beat the dead horse anymore. But also the execution for Coming Soon, this time it was much better. We saw the Shadowfiend Kunkka matchup again, and it's like night and day compared to LXG versus ROG. It's clear Moon knew what he was doing. He controlled the lane much better. He performed much better with the Tidebringer in the beginning as well, and that was actually pretty crucial at stopping whatever ROG's draft had in mind in terms of snowballing. So. Yep. Congratulations, Coming Soon, but we'll get back to game number 2 shortly, because Coming Soon still has to win that second game to actually qualify for that final. Stay tuned, guys, and feel free to follow us on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and like us on Facebook. And if you enjoy our cast, follow us on Twitter at TheSwordfish and at Wingblade Dota. And this has been the ESL 1 ESL 1 Mumbai 2019 India qualifiers, and we'll come back very shortly with some more Dota 2. Until then, guys.
This arena is about ready to explode. Welcome to ESL 1. Let's get this started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Grabbing up the epicenter, comes in. Oh, it's a big one as well. Look at this damage. The BKB, the Black are ready to go. GG.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steele in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
Absolutely stunning! They are the champions!
You're not weak. Your mind is always racing. It never rests. So let the earth quake as you break through.
Previously on ESL 1 Birmingham.
What a dream way to begin the day.
And now, we continue. Get ready for the Birmingham Brawl.
It's time! There is no place like home. Universe goes down. Look at the swing. Asher coming in with the combo. GG is called.
ESL 1 Birmingham 2019.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steele in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. Remember where you came from. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
No matter what your passion is, soccer, rugby, racing, or esports, become a part of the experience with the moments we deliver.
Hello guys, welcome welcome all to this beautiful India Qualifiers free-for-all. We're watching ESL 1 Mumbai 2019 India Qualifiers, as I just mentioned. It's a losers brackets final, and this match determines who gets to play against Signify in the grand final of these brackets, and of course who gets the chance to represent India in their own local land. ROG Titans are fighting against Coming Soon in a best of 3, and the first game does not go too much in their favor as Coming Soon decimate them with a superior draft and superior playstyle, and showcase why they were the second favorites after Signify. Now Coming Soon is looking for that second game, as ROG Titans is looking to tie the score and get a second chance at victory. Let's see what happens next. My name is D Swordfish. I'm here at ESL, so remember to follow us on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and like us on Facebook. And I'm here joined by Wingblade Dota for this game today. How are you doing, Wingblade?
Not so well, because I'm not in the lobby.
No. That's not good.
Wait, can you call me on Discord and maybe share your screen?
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, there we go. It's not ideal, but it's gonna have to do.
Okay. I realize now. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a lobby bug right now, so it's really difficult to tell people if I'm coming or not.
I tried to look for the lobby, but it didn't show up for me.
That's really odd. Well, the lobbies are bugged today, so it's not that surprising. Anyway, let's get into the draft. You can see it now. You're in real time, man. You know, real technology. What are we seeing here? ROG Titans with the Coddle, and the Tidehunter as Coming Soon go for the Just Prophet and the Viper.
So interesting. Coming Soon first picked the Furion, and ROG Titans completely ignored the Viper, so Coming Soon actually, like, second picked it. Which is quite special, because usually you see it either instantly banned out or instantly picked, but it was ignored for 2 picking phases.
Yeah, it's very surprising. What I'm also surprised about here is that they actually decided to pick the Tidehunter knowing the Viper was in the pool. That's ballsy.
Yeah, Tide generally doesn't have a great time against Viper, because normally he relies on Kraken Shell to just run away from everything, but if you're Viper striked or Viper struck and you're in the Nether Toxin, there is no running away and it doesn't get dispelled, so you just drop extremely fast. On top of that, you don't have damage block anymore, so you're extremely squishy.
Yep, and if this does happen to a late game scenario where Tyner has this kind of late game shine with a Ravage, because you do offer a lot of team fight, Viper goes for the Nether Toxin Silence, and then you are literally useless Nether Toxin. They don't even need to stun you, they just need to Nether Toxin you and you're completely gone. You can't do anything.
Well, I feel like if you're playing a Tidehunter, you put a lot of emphasis on getting an early 4-staff against Prophet plus Viper.
Yeah, certainly.
Like, you can buy Hood or you can buy Crimson Guide or whatever, but I feel like a Force is just gonna be so much more useful.
In this game, you could even justify getting a BKB just to prevent the Nether Toxin from screwing you over halfway through.
It's very expensive though. I think you would rather have like Blink Force, maybe even Refresh Eye.
Really? Wow, so go for the full Initiator build as opposed to any sort of a carrier.
Yeah, I feel like... I mean, it could be a mid-tide, it could be a carry tide, but if you're playing offlane tide, I feel like you kind of want to be focused, so buying a BKB is not that useful. You'd rather just buy mitigation. As opposed to immunity. So they have a Coddle too, and Coddle plus Tidehunter is a very strong teamfight combination. You have 2 insane AoE stuns. Even a Viper is gonna struggle with that amount of disable, and if they get a carry that has naturally built BKB, they should be able to deal with Viper. But their first priority deals with Viper in lane. So, as I mentioned before, Kunkka is one of the heroes, but he's banned. So what's left is Morphling, Rubik, Monkey King, and I feel like I'm forgetting one.
The counters, the...
Oh no, it's Monkey, Morphling, Kunkka, Rubik.
Yeah, Morphling, okay. the counters to the Viper.
To Viper.
Yeah. I mean, they're all in the, except for the Rubik, they're all in the pool, so I guess you have the option for RG Titan. There's not It's a difficult draft. Now we see the Titan's going to be offlane or mid. I'm assuming offlane, because like you mentioned, Titan against mid Viper is not too ideal. The PA is the second pick for ROG. Interesting choice, honestly. Relatively early PA. Not bad against the Viper if you get the jump on Viper, but pretty bad if Viper gets a jump on you, because another toss takes away your only survival skill. And
I don't really like this PA pick, because when you're against the Viper Nature's Prophet, you know there is going to be a lot of early pressure. And as a PA, you don't really enjoy being pressured that hard early. Especially when it's by a hero that can also just break you. So not only do you need like a Battle Fury or a Deso, but you also need a beat. Don't deal any damage. Need a lot, but he's not gonna have a lot of space. So they need to somehow pull this early game out of the bag, because if they lose the early game, PA is not gonna have time to recover.
Alright, oh, okay. Seems like there's just a bug in my Dota feed. Now I can't tell who picked what. Lovely. And by extension, I'm assuming you can't tell either.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so Jakiro. Hopefully this fixes itself. Sorry guys about this. Dota's been really wonky these days. I think the updates are not doing too well to the spectator experience. I'm assuming that they're still picking in, that the reserve time is just bugged, so next pick should fix it, usually what happens. RG now with a pretty solid teamfight potential at the very least. I mean, you have a Will-O-Wisp, Ravage, and even Macropyre to boot for the damage, with a PA with a bit of physical damage. It's pretty good in terms of team fighting potential, but coming soon on a Viper.
Yeah, they have some Mumbai combo for sure.
Yep.
And Jakiro is, as I said before, one of the best heroes at dealing with Prophet, especially in lane. And it's also good against Tusk, because Tusk relies a lot on tag team to deal damage. So if your attack speed is extremely slowed, it's hard for you to do a lot of stuff. Also, if you snowball in, it's quite easy to anticipate, and you can just ice path preemptively.
That's very true,
so
actually.
This is a nice hero pick, but I doubt that it's gonna fix all the issues for ROG Titans right now.
Now the Pangolier pick, which is interesting because we haven't seen Pango offlane that often this meta, is very often picked mid with a Guardian Grease build, but still an okay offlaner. The issue is that in a dual lane we've seen that he's not that great at putting pressure. Very useful pick though here. You actually can easily deal with Tide, Cuddle, and Jakiro pretty much, because your Rolling Thunder makes you invulnerable to them, and you become a real threat there. This team kind of relies on control to get you down once their wombo combo is up, and Pangolier omits that, creates chaos, and delays whatever initiation you had. It's pretty good.
I would not mind seeing the Pango be flexible in a way where he can also go mid, because you're completely fine laning a Viper against Tide or a PA.
That's true. That is true.
I feel like if they pick another flexible hero, they can just swap around the lanes at their leisure and win the lanes regardless. Like, it's easy to counter pick one hero, but you cannot fix all your laning issues with one pick for ROG Titans, so they can just coming soon can just lane their heroes wherever they want. Oh, they pick an anti-mage. This is another one of those strange picks where I feel like they have the entire early game going for them, and then they pick an anti-mage.
It's very favored in the Indian region, huh? I must think it's really good.
Maybe they're just nervous or something. That, like, pushing lineups are always a bit scary to do, because if they fail, you lose. But if you do one of those 50-50, we go push, but we also go late lineups, it just feels a bit disjointed. But I'm sure they have some kind of plan that I'm just not seeing. Maybe they're just gonna use the Viper and Pango to create space for the anti-mage as opposed to committing for pushing.
I mean, it is not a bad space creation lineup as far as they're concerned, because this time they do have the lanes, right? So I guess that's what difference was with RG Titans. If the Shadowfiend had potentially won the lane, then you would have a really strong or a pretty decent lineup. And coming soon should win the lanes with the Viper Pango. And this Queen the Pain pick, I actually don't mind, because it stops the Pango going mid and the Viper destroying your side lanes. Because you can't lane Pango against Queen.
I mean,
I think that's the idea.
Sacrificing the Quop from the start though, and we spoke about this before. Quop needs to have a winning lane, and if she doesn't, she's just kind of a range creep with a blink. They still have the insane team fight now with Sonic Wave as well. But you're setting your Queen of Pain up to fill. PA doesn't really destroy a Pangolier so much. And Anti-Mage is one of the better heroes against Tide, so I feel like Coming Soon just has a major edge in the laning stage.
I completely agree.
And if you win the laning stage and you give Anti-Mage space to farm, he's gonna take it. And PA is decent against Anti-Mage, but not when she's 2 or 3 items behind, which I could very well see happen this game.
Yep, entirely. The PA will have to fight and do the contesting of the Battle Fury timing, hoping to get an early Battle Fury as well. Not that easy. The issue as well is the PA before with Anti-Mage was a bit better because you had the ability to go for the triple stifling dagger, triple stifling dagger strike, I think it's called, and then you would just play around the Anti-Mage, use your Battle Fury to deal damage to him. Now though, all your spells that actually try to target the Anti-Mage, especially in the early game, can be countered by counterspell, and are rather easy to do as well. So it's not that easy to bring him down unless you're superiorly farmed or you go for a Desolator build, for example.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to execution on ROG Titans. They're gonna need to rotate the Quop early, try to secure lanes, but the odds are stacked against them.
To be honest, I don't like this Quap pick like you mentioned either. Like I see what they were going for. I see what the Quap wants here, but I'm most concerned about the Tide Hunter because at first I was saying, okay, the Tide Hunters already have a pretty bad mid game because he's gonna have to match up against the Viper and they can crush him. The Pango is also pretty good or amazing against the Tide in general, right? And then you now bring in finally a Anti-Mage in lane, which like you mentioned has a pretty good matchup against him. When is your Tide strong, you know? Is he just a walking Ravage at most? And even then, it's not that great of an ability. So
I feel like he's a walking Ravage. Like, he's not gonna do much in these lanes.
But that's not how you play Tide these days, right? Like, the beauty in Tide now is how strong the Anchor Smash can be. Even Gush builds we've seen. The walking Ravage build that used to be played is just not that effective anymore.
I mean, his lane is kind of okay, though. He's gonna be up against an Anti-Mage and
I guess it's
maybe like a Furion or a Tusk, but both those heroes don't really do much to him, and he has a Coddle, so Tide is the hero in lane at least I'm least worried about.
You're more worried about I mean, Quap is definitely going to lose her lane. I don't think there's a way a Quap can beat a Viper, to be honest.
Yep. Especially when Viper puts some early points into Corrosive Skin.
Exactly.
Because normally Quap wins the lane by harassing really hard with the dagger, but that's not a possibility when every dagger hit hits you back twice.
What do you think is the build here for the Viper?
I think you go 2 points in Corrosive Skin, 2 points in Nanotoxin, maybe 1 point in Poison Attack.
Yeah.
Or maybe you even just need 1 point in Corrosive Skin to dissuade the Quap from even skilling Shadow Strike, just as a fear factor, and go something like 1-3-1 or
yeah,
something like that, or 2-1, something.
The second point in Corrosive Skin used to be a huge value point because it doubles the damage you deal, essentially, and the slow and whatnot. Not that it's much, but it's okay if Quap is still not a turret by your, I guess, value point like you mentioned. I wouldn't mind seeing like a 1-1-2 like you mentioned originally. We'll see. Divine is a bit of a dangerous play. He's fighting against 3. I don't think he realized that Jakira's up top. He just wanted Jakira. It's like, okay, I can't go here. Can still go for level 1 blink if needed, but would rather have mana break in the lane, obviously. The killing potential of these guys is very, very little. Jakiro, Coddle, Titan, no way you're going to kill at level 1. Unless the Anti-Mage makes a position mistake. And what about bottom lane? How do you see that lane? We have a Pango plus a Tusk. That's actually a pretty decent combo. Tag team triggers with Swashbuckle, so there's that. We haven't seen it because Pango and Tusk weren't relevant around the same time. In fact, Tusk is going to die now, so I take back what I just said. Zap is so close to death, going to the trees, juking best he can, eating 2 tangos. One last Stifling Dagger. ZXZ will get that first blood. And now Pango left alone in lane. Pango is surprisingly weak against this. He really can't stay here. And in the top lane, they do the same thing with Tide Hunter. So, support for offlaner, but first blood goes to the enemy carry here in ROG.
I feel like the lane should be fairly even, because both of the teams have some decent kill potential, and both teams actually should not die if they play it properly. Like, you only die if you're somehow out of position, because there is no stuns. There is only like slows, and slows can be played around quite easily. So if they play properly, there shouldn't be any kills, but it might very well just go the other way and have like 10 kills on this lane.
Yeah, because
you never know. That's the beauty of Qualifier Team Dota.
Qualifier Team Dota. That term has really grown on you, huh? The the thing though with when you get those kind of qualifier teams but playing against the no stun lineup, so Adrenaline Rush dies in the top lane to fly solo. Actually, it's in the streets, yeah. Is that they actually play much more aggressively because they think, they can't stun me, like I'm pretty safe. And that's when you overcommit and die, right? So there's that kind of double-edged sword, psychologically speaking. Is there another guy controlling the camera here? No, okay. I realize you don't have a camera movement, so I guess I have to show you my items myself, yeah. And how's this mid lane going for now? Viper, not level 3 yet, but Quap is actually winning this lane ever so slightly.
Quap has pretty good damage, so...
Yeah.
Like, she's not skilling Shadow Strike, so the lane is not as bad as it would be if she did skill Shadow Strike. But Viper is eventually gonna win anyway, because Nether Toxin is a pretty good spell.
Really? You think? I think it's overrated. It's like, what, 600 damage?
Hero seems pretty strong.
Maybe they should ban it. A lot of people should pick him. Maybe first ban. Well, I mean, it was actually the 3rd pick or 4th pick, so I guess these teams don't really value that as much. Zep has a snowball here in the bottom lane. Not common to go snowball tag team. It's more of a defensive build here just because you can want to evade the damage and you're still unable to win. And this is the difficulty in Pango super early on, and while you run him in the middle lane. You kind of need the experience, and it kind of sucks when you don't really help your teammate at all. And if they harass your support, you just stay there. You can deal some damage, but it's okay at best. Your right clicking is pretty bad. And you're just kind of surviving, but your support keeps dying on you.
This Yukiro is really doing work here. He
He's
keeps throwing the Tusk to a crawl, and Tusk can't really run away, and level 1 tag team Shvoko Buckle is not really that strong.
We also have the... Yeah, the level on tag team with the slow is just horrendous. So that's a big thing they're relying on. You're not getting the swashbuckle just yet either, because you need the tag team level 2 to actually deal some damage. Tag team though in the top lane still pretty effective. They killed her and Rush just with that. Now the snowball going for Hunter. No ice shards though, which is the best ability against his Tide. And very nice anchor smash. And comes to the anti-mage trying to secure this kill. One more hit by Fly Solo will actually secure it. Good job. The anchor smash just got dispelled on him, or just ran out on him. So he managed to get the kill.
Tide is struggling so much, and only because he doesn't have Kraken Shell. So
wait,
what normally happens when you're playing Tide against Furion is that you just have Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash, so the treants don't really hurt you. But because he went for the 1-0-2 build, he can actually get harassed out of lane by the treants, which is not something that should happen by design. Of course, he does have the pressure on the anti-mage with the Gush into Anchor Smash, but he's so vulnerable, and it's showing here.
And even with this pressure, I mean, the anti-mage obviously went through all his healing, so the pressure is sort of working, but as the lane goes, first of all, his counter spell is a great way to counter the Gush, and you're also going to be lacking that mana to really do these kind of spells. So you essentially have one completely dead spell in the form of Gush, whereas Anchor Smash has low enough of a mana threshold that you can actually use it constantly. The Gush, you can maybe use it once or twice, get the harassment off, that's it. There's your mana gone. The Kato can give you Chakra Magic for Anchor Smashes, definitely not wasting it on a Gush. I agree, I think this build is a very erroneous build. Zap, very nice high shards actually, putting himself up to the high ground and blocking the path as well, as anti-mage steals the enemy rune. Complete loss of time there. The bottom lane though, they do manage to get a kill to Fly Solo completely alone, which means dominating straight the way of ZXC, who is actually winning this lane by a lot. This PA is doing a really good job of stabilizing the game in her favor, so she might actually beat the anti-mage in terms of form.
I did not expect this PA to have such a good time, but it really helps to get those few early kills. Like, the Tusk messed up a few times, and as a result, the PA actually has a game right now. She is starting to snowball, which is really scary.
On top lane, we're seeing our rotation by Fly Solo, hoping to maybe kill Adrenaline Rush. They sprout him. It's really hard to body block a Caudle. He's lean. Oh, no need to body block him. He's lean and also very fast. But if you just get him with a Sprout and Antibi just hits him once, there it is. Antibi is getting a decent amount of farm this time, much better than last game, so he's going to have a more impactful game. The question is, can PA shut him down before he does get that Battle Fury? And we'll see. The PA is pretty strong against Anti-Mage if you do get a nice start. So
Viper started to farm jungle. At this point, I expect him to overtake the net worth within a few minutes because he just farms so incredibly fast.
The different, or the benefit, I guess, here is that... Oh, careful, RR? No. The Queen Opinion at least is left alone in lane, right? So she at least get to farm up somewhat. Adrenaline Rush in the top lane though. Illuminate doesn't really deal much damage. There's the tag team constantly being, annoying, but not enough to kill a Tidehunter.
I feel like Koddle should buy Quelling Blade, because this is the second time he dies to a Sprout. It seems silly, but it's just 200 gold and it would have saved him twice.
Okay, they catch a Tide, but they don't get any extra people in the snowball. Kind of dumb there, because they could have gotten in better positioning. However, tag team is ready to destroy this Tide. Even with mana voiding comes the Quap. Nice rotation! Cleans up the house with 2 people dead. And Flysole, next target, he realized he was going to die to this Quap if he just stayed there. Had to use the magic state for TPing. Instead TPs with his own ability. And barely makes it. 1 hit away from death. Wow. That's a really good rotation by the Quap, actually.
Yep. Anti-Mage was like, hey guys, I have my ulti, so Tide is dead, and Quap was like, that's nice.
and the beauty of this rotation as well is that he actually took advantage of the fact that he was laying against a Viper. Because he's up against a Viper, you don't need 2 points of Shadow Strike, or even 3, right? You rather max Scream of Pain for the mid game, and that was very, very crucial here in getting those 2 kills. Good job.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't see this coming on the Dire. They didn't expect a rotation at all, because when you're playing a Viper against the Quap, you're like, oh, this Quap is not that strong, it's fine, but she just TP'd in and showed why Sonic Wave is such a dangerous ulti. You can have all the magic resistance in the world on anti-mage, but it's still gonna hit like a truck.
Oh, that was a Quap just taking down Zap rather easily. Ato's finally on this Viper, which means he now has a tool against the Quap though. But she's out farming him for now. Quap getting those kills, saying, I don't care how fast you can farm, man, I can farm your heroes. And he's taking down those supports quite swiftly. That anti-mage skill also gave her a lot. And she actually goes for a magic stick to take advantage of the spam of Nether Toxin.
We spoke about the PA being scary when she got killed and started snowballing. The same is true for Quap. Because if you look at the Dire lineup, there is not that much pick-off potential. So Quap should be able to move on the map quite freely if she gets a good start. Like, I was worried because I expected a pushing lineup, and Quap doesn't really do much against that, and neither does PA, but because of this anti-mage pick, they have a lot of space to do stuff. Yeah.
And that early game damage from the Quap and PA, which was exactly what was missing last game from ROG Titans, right? They don't have many stuns this time, only with the Chikiro, but this time they have the burst to actually bring down the anti-mage easily. Oh, catch the Chikiro in the bottom lane though. Chikiro completely alone and killed off. They even use a Sprout for extra vision to see that nobody was TPing in, and they'll take down this tower in the bottom lane, but at the expense of a potential anti-mage on top. Interesting they leave the anti-mage alone of all things. This is not really creating space for him because there's 2 heroes in his lane right now and nobody's TPing to help. So Divine is sacrificing a bit of his farm and PA is kind of getting ahead, using the jungle to her advantage.
I feel like AM is pretty much fine against Tide Koddle though. Like, obviously it's not the best to have 2 heroes in your lane, but they don't pressure you that hard because they don't have that much physical damage. If you're playing Smite, you shouldn't be able to get hit by the Anchor Smash. The Gush is magical, the Illuminate is magical, so you can just mostly CS on the tower because both of those heroes push lanes.
ZXZ gets another quick kill against the Tusk. Honestly, these small kills on the supports is just... Especially for the PA, just get a quick crit, hoping that the slow is strong enough and you just kill. It's pretty easy for the PA, honestly. And that is also part of the reason why you used to go for like the desolated build very often.
I would try to organize a gank with the Viper and the Pango to try and kill this PA. The Quap is scary, but I feel like a snowballing PA is even scarier than a Quap. Because I mentioned this a lot, but a Quap with 6 items still probably dies in 1 stun.
Unless one of those items is Aeon Disc, right? Think smart.
True.
Genius. But you're totally right. The PA, especially against the anti-mage, she presents a lot more of a threat than the Quap. Oh, the Quap though, caught by the Atos and killed off. Not the best positioning here, and this is exactly what you're talking about, right? Rolling in with the Viper and the Pango. Very good Rolling Thunder here as well by R. Fantastic, actually. With a Swashbuckle, hoping to finish off the Viper. He still has a level 2 shield crash. Doesn't need it because Nature's Prophet comes in to secure this kill. The 2 Filipinos from this team played really well there. Yeah, that worked really nicely. So that, well, I mean, that's what you said, right?
So just one disable on Quop, and down she goes.
The Pango played perfectly there, honestly. I was about to talk about how Pango was not rotating despite having his level 6, but with his Javelin now he actually deals a fair amount of damage, and he takes advantage of this by taking a quick tower. It's not a pushing lineup, but they're still pushing to give some space to AM.
The way they go for a rotation and transition it into a tower. Because getting 3 kills is nice, but getting a tower on top of it also gives you map control, which makes it great.
Exactly. Okay, RR get cut off though in the top lane, unfortunately. He dies as A35 himself. Also gets killed off in the middle lane against the Viper. And now we see a... Oh, no, that's Nature's Prophet. He should be fine, I think, yeah. He's gonna actually steal the Arcane Rune, or... oh, he thinks twice about it. He's considering where to fly up to. And the Coddle finds him. It's like, what? What? Nature's Prophet just in my woods. Okay. He finds the Quap. This could be a man fight. There's a 4-man rotation as well with a snowball for the Coddle here. So Nature's Prophet might just be sacrificing himself to create some space. Nice. TP's in the middle of the Quap. Sorry, in the face of the Quap. And is not deterred by her potential fear. In fact, she wasted her blink. That's an offensive blink. They could punish that, but they don't have anything to punish it. Rolling Thunder comes in finally. Can he get the double stun? Yes, he does. He's actually stuck in the rut. The triple stun, though, does not come out. And unfortunately, they can't finish off the Squap. In comes the Tide. He has a Ravage ready. This is super dangerous. Pango get caught by the Ravage and 2 other heroes as well. Like 3, because the AM just TP'd in. But it's a Tide for free, who sacrificed himself for the enemy offlaner. Nothing he can do against this AM. Mana Void to finish him off. Meanwhile, Fly Solo fights his mortal enemy in ROG. Dot, and he realizes that he can't beat this Nature's Prophet Sprout for the vision, but they don't have Mana Void to cancel his TP, so he can just walk away, or TP away rather, safely.
I feel like you're okay with that if you had a Dia, because they used Ravage.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good one.
Evenly, and they use Ravage, it's all okay.
I mean, I guess you lost your... Yeah, you trade evenly because you lost your offlaner for offlaner. I don't know why in my mind Pango seems more important than Tide, just because I find Tide to be useless this match, but...
Poor Tide.
It's not his fault, it's not the player's fault, it's just I don't think the pick was ideal. I would never pick a Tide second pick, if I'm honest with you, in this meta right now.
It's
without banning Viper, also.
For sure. Can't say I've seen a lot of it. But in this game, it's not, like, terrible so far. He had a decent lane against Anti-Mage, he's on par with the Pango, and I love Pango, but I feel like Tide is one of the scariest late game heroes. Then again, so is Pango, so...
You mean offlaners, right? Yeah. Or just heroes as a whole?
Heroes as a whole.
You mean because of the talent? Is that why you think Tide is so scary? The Anchor Smash plus talent?
I feel like just the threat of a Ravage is so strong, and not being able to get stunned and chain stunned in the late game.
That's a very good point.
Then again, they are against the Viper.
Yeah, so... And Nether Toxin Silence is one of the best talents in the game as well. It's pretty fantastic. Especially against a Quap, actually. You were talking about like 1 stun, you know? The Quap is essentially forced to go for BKB later on this game.
Yep. And that's why I'm never really a big fan of the Yule's build. I feel like it's pretty decent this game, because you're against the Furion, you want to have a way to cancel a TP, you want a way to cancel the Rod of Athos on yourself, but it just slows down your farm so much and you still need a BKB. So in games like these, I really like building a Midas before Yule's, which basically guarantees that you're gonna scale well. Because we saw the Quap doing really well early, but now she's fallen behind the Viper, fallen behind the Anti-Mage. And she's slowing down a little bit, and that's a result of her item build.
Yes, partially the issue is that you have to constantly get killed. Oh, they actually do get a kill though here on RR, nice. But the issue here is that you have to constantly get kills on Quap if you do go for this kind of like team fighting, very cheap item builds. And against a Viper, even an AM to some degree, is a bit difficult to do. You don't have any catch for the AM either, so Orchid maybe could have solved that. We'll see the top tower fall though in favor of the Quap. That's a bit more gold to her name, as Moon does the same thing with the middle lane. I wouldn't say that this trade actually favors coming soon a bit, just because the mid tower is so important for the map control here.
Yeah, mid tower is always one of the best towers, because it opens some jungle entrances.
It's the only tier 1 tower that you're like, yeah, you can take whenever, you know, it's just whenever possible. Whereas other tier 1s you're mentioning, sometimes you give more space to the enemy carry. Moon is very close to his Guardian Greaves as well, which is actually going to make a bit of a difference. They could actually go for the pushing line full on. He does still go for the Guardian Greaves being with an Anti-Mage, but his Anti-Mage is doing much better. He has double Wraith Bands, Treads, and now the Battle Fury as well, minute 16. That's a well-farmed Anti-Mage. PA, also Battle Fury, can now go for this later.
And the Anti-Mage is only really scared of the PA. He's quite good against all other heroes on this Radiant lineup.
Okay, Zap sacrificing himself. I think the Ice Path and catching out of the Snowball, like you mentioned in the drafting phase. Nice Ice Shards though, actually wasting a lot of time, and Zap might just survive this. Pango comes in with the Rolling Thunder ready. Blur already committed here. Zap considering if to help his teammates or not. And ZXC goes onto the Furion. Can they catch him again? Yes, they do. Rolling Thunder, third hit. They don't get it. But the Rod of Atos is here, ready to stop this PA with the break. There's no way she survived this. And Zap, proud with his contribution of being a punching bag, will now join his team in this onslaught.
Like we spoke about it yesterday, but
we did.
Are pretty good.
You mean the position 4 as well? We spoke about the general role of the position 4 as being like kind of a tank, soak up as much damage as you can, or waste the time with the enemy team, right? And that's all you have to do sometimes.
As a result, he survived.
Yeah. That's Bracer. That's Bracer when they change Walrus Punch. Ridiculous amount of damage with the tag team still. They actually force a Ravage just for the Tusk. They catch the Viper just barely, and that's a much better kill. And goes to the Quad Fly. Solo's ready though. He could fight this. Sprout, awkward because he wasn't really sure if it was initiating or not. Instead decides to deward. Moon's pretty keen on initiating. Goes for the Tide. Tide almost dies to Moon. As you said earlier, the Kraken Shell being taken away by the Nether Toxin just makes you so squishy.
Yeah, it's not your favorite thing as a watermelon to get Nether Toxin on. But we see, because of this PA kill and the Anti-Mage getting kills, he's almost leading by 2k now. Like, this is really, really scary. This Anti-Mage is finding his footing in this game.
Yep. Compared to last game, right? Like, it's really interesting to draw parallels to the Anti-Mage we saw being completely decimated last game. This one doing much better, getting a Yasha pretty good timing, actually. And now he's in a Snowball.
The map is so open, too. How do they catch this Anti-Mage?
Yeah, in fact, the guys proposing kills are coming soon, going in the bottom lane with this Pango and the Tusk as well. Will-O-Wisp wasted completely. Haunter dying to the Pango, unable to do much against this hero. And the Will-O-Wisp is going to fall soon as well, as the Coddle died as he put it down. Seems like coming soon have complete control right now. And this is what's the scariest possible scenario where you're playing against a 4 Protect 1 lineup, which is that the 4 beat your 5. And you just let the Anti-Mage a limitless amount of farm and space.
Yep, and we saw the Will-O-Wisp coming out, and it just wasn't that effective because not all of the team was there. It was more of a defensive Will-O-Wisp, and now they're kind of out of abilities to defend this high ground. There is a Meteor Hammer coming out, Viper is just gonna sit in front and hit the tower, and how do they stop this? Because PA can't really jump in, because as I said, she doesn't have a BKB, so she doesn't really have the damage.
Nope.
She's gonna get disarmed.
Oh, interesting. ZXC.
Nether Toxin.
Can they catch her? There's no creeps around. They could punish this. Divine comes in, hoping to kill the PA. Difficult matchup. You can still evade all those stifling daggers. Divine still going for the blink. ZXC plays with the jungle trees. Nice. They have no way of canceling this. Oh, they do. Never mind. The Mono Void was available. So ZXC in trouble now against 3. He's going to pay for his sins. And that's Divine asserting his dominance as the better carry. However, in the top lane, we also see Viper and Pango together with Nature's Prophet fighting alone against 3. Can they win this fight? A nice Ice Path Macropyre. Song of Ice and Fire here, screwing over those cores, but destroying them is Pango in the backlines together with Moon, killing off Haunter. And these two cores make short work of essentially the whole ROG team. The power of the Viper.
It's a 5-0.
Yeah, it's a 5-4-0. It's a team wipe, and more importantly, it's a team wipe that's actually getting divided, where they fought a 3 versus 4 matchup up top, and they won.
Yeah, they put everything on this Viper, and he just laughed and healed through it with his Guardian Greaves.
Yeah.
Now he's even tankier with a Hood. How do you kill this snake?
You don't. No, this snake is unbeatable. They actually go for the cuddle again. Snowball will catch him, and Tusk just finishing him off. He sells the Walrus Punch ready for the Chikiro, but they're not concerned about him. Zap instead put himself in danger, and he might die as a result. Another Toxin to turn them away. Zap barely surviving, finally killed off by the Quap. They try to kill the Courier, and without his team, Coming Soon doesn't look so strong. The Viper's pretty powerful, but not alone. The Pango is only behind. Swashbuckle for this Tide. They do stop him with the run of Atos. Nice use of the break there. He can't dispel us away. A second another Toxin. Too much damage. Now the Sprout catching him in. And the Tide is gone. Unable to do anything in this team fight. Quap similarly just walks in, meets the anti-mage, walks away. Jakir from behind gets the Macropyre off, but they can just evade it. Only the Creeps die here, and the Catapult is tanking this pretty nicely. Thank God they had a Catapult here. And Moon continues to push. Not the best pushing power in the world, but if you can stay here forever, then it's not a big deal. Boone says, this is my base now. This is my Rex. I'm going to take him down. Because my name's Moon.
And it started so well for ROG Titans. But now it's, I can say 15 or 16k lead. And you see this Quap being so far behind. We see this Tide being so far behind. But the biggest difference in net worth here is between the supports.
Yeah. The supports here, comparing the Nature's Prophet and the Caudal, for example, which are the position 4 per se, right? 4,000 different. I mean, even the Tide's below the Nature's Prophet. He's doing really well.
And I love this build on Prophet too.
Meteor
you
Hammer.
have the Medallion for the support and the Roche taking, and you have the Meteor Hammer for just the straight up pushing power.
Yep. And the occasional shenanigans like these. Flysoul is actually wasting a lot of their time, and now they're set up for a potential kill. Double damage Pango comes in. ZXC may be the target. Pango has a Diffusal Blade as well. ZXC forced to Phantom Strike away, but they already killed the Tide. No more Ravage for you. And behind is a PA who had to help his teammate, but couldn't do it. And instead, killed off easily. Moon comes in, wants to kill his flying enemy. Gets him in time. And Coming Soon, clearly killing this Will-O-Wisp easily. And now going for another lane of Rex. Nothing to stop him, really. Okay, the
so
Meteor
for
Hammer.
anyone watching, I feel like there is a big lesson to take away from this game.
Ban Viper.
Please ban Viper.
Okay. Would you say...
We saw the Quap did so well in the laning stage, but Viper just farms jungle and is suddenly the strongest hero on the map. And his itemization fits so well with the timings of this current patch. Like you have the pick-off with Atos, and then the moment you start getting some momentum, you also have the Grief, so you can start taking buildings. And this should be megas, because I don't see how ROG Titans can defend this.
Well, it's a good Ravage, but honestly, what's the follow-up? Sonic Wave already here. Okay, that's not bad. They kill Nature's Prophet at least. Macropyre also used here, but they already lost CXE. And Divine, completely ignored them this whole engagement as they now go for the Titan, opening up this melon, or this watermelon. ROG doesn't even want to participate here. He just blinks away. He's like, I'm out of this base. Good luck further, they say. ROG give up. Give the game to Coming Soon. Previously known as Reckoning Esports, the only Indian team to have international teammates, I guess, yeah, international participants, players, which are from Philippines. It's going to be Flysoul and RR. They bring the pride back to India. They're hoping to take these finals as well against Signify. Let's see if they'll be able to do that. That game will be tomorrow, though, as Coming Soon can take the 2-0 against ROG and sentence the matches for today. Wingblade, what can you tell me about this game? I mean, give me some last words, some closing words for this matchup.
Ban Viper? No, I feel like Coming Soon just overall, they played really well. Their rotations were on point. They had a few hiccups early game, like the Tusk gave some kills to the PA, which made it a little bit scary, but ultimately they just had a good game plan and executed it properly.
Yeah, I agree. Coming Soon, congratulations, very deserved win. I think Coming Soon and Signify were probably the two teams who were watching these qualifiers. We thought, these guys, you know, they really have something. ROG did show a pretty good prowess against LXG, but kind of crumbled against the pressure of facing the best Indian teams. And now the two best Indian teams will face tomorrow in a best of 5. If you guys want to watch that game, feel free to follow us on ESL, or like us on Facebook ESL, or subscribe on YouTube ESL. And that way you can see when we are online with the next game and the last game of the Indian qualifiers. Remember, these qualifiers are for the ESL 1 Mumbai 2019 LAN, which will be one of the first major, or the first major LAN for Dota 2 in India. Very exciting time to be alive, especially if you're an Indian Dota 2 player. And here, from a Dutch and a Spanish person, we really appreciate a new scene growing. The game is over, so we're gonna say goodbye as well. Enjoy some ads before we close the stream. It's been a pleasure. My name's been DSwordfish. I've been here with Wingblade Dota, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with the last games of the day. Until then, guys.
This arena is about ready to explode. Welcome to ESL 1. Let's get this started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Grabbing up the epicenter, comes in. Oh, it's a big one as well. Look at this damage. The BKB, the Black are ready to go. GG.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steel in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
You're not weak. Your mind is always racing. It never rests. So let the earth quake as you break through.
Previously on ESL 1 Birmingham.
What a dream way to begin the day.
And now, we continue. Get ready for the Birmingham Brawl.
It's time! There is no place like home. Universe goes down. Look at the swing. Asher coming in with the combo. GG is called.
ESL 1 Birmingham 2019.
Think he can't shine through the dark? Stream a Roshan Steel in high resolution? And record a play for the history books? Watch this. Think he can't make a victory go viral? Watch this. Think a support can't be in the spotlight? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, a legend can rewrite his own legacy. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. Remember where you came from. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
No matter what your passion is, soccer, rugby, racing, or esports. Become a part of the experience with the moments we deliver.